Okay, I'm going to show you how to put the wallpaper or house wrap on now. This is all sheeted, ready to go. And what we're going to do is, you can see on the first two walls, I let it hang over. And then this will wrap around onto this actually. So this is going to come and just be flush. I'll cut it off flush. There are these diamonds here. I'm going to line those up with a stud. And then that way we know where to nail if we're doing siding. Okay, so we're on our last wall, and I've hooked on the end of the wall. The sheeting here runs 24 feet, but we kept the framing, because this is an end wall, under 3.5 inches on each side. So I have this first top plate held back 3.5 inches, and I hooked the tape on the sheeting so I can find the center of this wall, because we're going to put a 16-foot garage door header in here now. And we need to have it correct so that we end up with 4 feet on each side so it looks symmetrical. So I marked it at 12 feet, and what I'll do now is I'll mark each direction 8 feet. So I put a mark and then I put an arrow pointing toward the garage door opening. And then from that center line, 8 feet. There's my line. Put an arrow this way. That's my opening. And that'll leave us with 4 feet for a piece of sheeting nicely on the outside. Okay, so this represents the line of the side of my 16-foot garage door opening, and it goes that direction. So what I'm going to do now is line that up with 1.5 inches on my square, put another line, and again, another 1.5 inches, another line, and another line. So I'm going to have 4 lines here. This is a full-length stud. These are cripples underneath of the garage door opening. So this makes 2 cripples to hold up the header that goes in here. Then we'll measure 16-inch spacings from the other end. And I'm back. So I have it hooked on a nail that is set at 15 or 3/4 inches under, which was down there, 15 3/4. So there's a stud, here's a stud, and then one on the end. We'll mark those out. And that should be all I need for studs on each side of the door opening. So I'm at the other end of the door, and I'm set in 3.5 inches here. That's why I got this nail set, and I'm flushing this up. The sheeting and top plate will go out to 24 feet. And now we can mark off where all the studs and cripples go on this end. So this is the edge of the door right here. At 1.5 inches, I'm going to make a mark, and 3 inches, I'm going to make a mark. Cripple, 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 1.5 inches. King stud, which goes next to openings. And then this was set already at, from out here on the edge of the sheeting, 15 3/4. So now I can mark it, being it's on the edge of a stud, at 16. Mark this one and this one. Stud on each end. And there they have it. So I'm going to cut this one off, get the studs cut for length, lay them out, and then we're going to look at building the header. So I'm hooked on the bottom of the plate there. This is the edge of the garage door without the cripples in yet. And if I take a look here, I have to make a decision with a microlam header in here and a 2x4. I would be 1 inch smaller in the opening than I want to be, because I'm going to be putting in a 16x7 foot garage door. But I'm also going to be, if I move this out of the way, a 1/2 inch short of 7 feet. So what I think I'm going to do is just leave this out, this 2x4 that I just moved. I'm going to mark the sheeting to stick by a 1/2 inch, and one of two things can happen. I can either cut that off, and then the trim I put in here will make up the difference, or we just put a piece of 1/2 inch underneath of there to fur it out, and then we'll put our trim around this door. So with that said, I think I'm going to make my 2, or actually 4 cripples 7 feet or 84.5 inches long. Okay, we're going to cut this microlam header to fit the opening with the 4 cripples on each, or on the, there's 2 cripples on each side, 4 total. And so 16 feet is the size of our door, so we're going to make a mark at 16'6". That'll allow for 3 inches of cripples on each side. Just like any header, we want to make sure that it's sitting perfectly on top of each other. And then we're going to run on this one 4 nails every 12 inches, flip it over, and do the same thing. Okay, so now it's nailed together all the way down. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it now in this top corner nice and tight and nail it on the end. We're going to do that on both ends, and then we'll be able to put in the cripples going down the sides. Now we're going to go along and get the top plate nailed on flush to the top here all the way along. And now the top plate. Now we put in the cripple. So here we are, all four walls are completed. I'm not putting any sheeting on this front wall on the garage door side because I want to run the sheeting from the top of the header up into the gable end of the rafters, tie it all together real nicely. So this one will just be like this when we put it up. But you can see we have our two cripples on each side, giving us 3 inches of bearing on that nice microlam header. And same thing down here, 3.5 inches, or 3 inches on the door. Here we have 3.5 inches on the ends. All right. So in our next segment, we'll be putting together sections of the roof, and then we'll take and get those 3 sections made.